treatment protocol of the RT-PCR swab positive for coronavirus, that is COVID-19 patients. So this was given to government colleges on 15th of April. So this includes a 14-page PDF document, mainly adult-based treatment strategy they have given. So various aspects are there. Due to various time constraints, we will divide it into 3 parts. The first will see the basic treatment protocol given. Second part will see the questions, and the third will be added info regarding ventilation. So let's look at the first part. What I think is they have incorporated new data coming from US and Italy into this guideline. COVID-19 spectrum ranges from asymptomatic to mild to pneumonia to hypoxia. Initially, the hypoxia is the lung is good compliance, where the mechanism is diffusion or pulmonary microthrombi. Later on, it progresses to poor compliance, that is ARDS, where ARDS management is needed, which initially they have altered as good compliance requires different treatment. Okay, so the treatment protocol consists of groups, criteria, the investigation needed, and the treatment part. Also, they have advised where to admit. So A, B, C, D, E, F are the groups based on the increasing severity. There are also stages where A, B, C are considered as stage 1, 2, D and E, and third stage is the stage F. Let's take the first group, group A. You can remember A for asymptomatic, but their swab is positive for COVID-19. You can think that they might be close contacts or healthcare workers. Basic investigation required are complete blood count, random blood sugar, renal function test, liver function test, and electrocardiogram. So hydroxychloroquine 400 mg BID on day 1, followed by 200 mg BID for the next 4 days. So baseline ECG is mandatory, and you have to calculate QTC as HCQS is going on to them. Let's look at group B. B means, you can remember, Buger comorbid features. So these are URTI without comorbidity. Chest X-ray gets added, remaining investigations remain the same. There are some red flag signs, that is neutrophil to lymphocyte ratio more than 3.5 and resting tachycardia. Maybe in this case they have also recommended ABG to do. Look at the treatment. So one antibiotic and HCQS. So antibiotic might be cefixime 200 mg BID, augmentin 625 mg TID, and azithromycin OD. So 5 days, and HCQS is there. Only baseline ECG to correct or check QT interval. Let's look at group C. You can remember C is for comorbidity. So these are symptomatic or URTI cases with comorbidity, various comorbid conditions already mentioned here. There are in addition red flag signs, neutrophilic lymphocytic ratio more than 3.5, hypoxia, PaO2 by FiO2 less than 300, deoxygenation on exercise 3 to 4 minutes, resting tachycardia, and raised inflammatory markers. So you can see workup is the same. ABG and inflammatory markers get added, which are ESR, CRP, LDH, ferritin, and D-dimer. So these are also red flag signs which indicate that the patient might worsen or go into next group. Treatment almost the same. One antibiotic, cefixime, amoxicillin with clavulanic acid, azithromycin, any one of it, plus HCQS. Now, if there is hypoxia, SpO2 less than 88, we have to do the COVID awake repositioning protocol. Here the patient is awake and he has to change position. More on this in part 3. Injection methylprednisolone 40 mg BID has to be added. ECG has to be done baseline and daily to look for QTC prolongation. So let's summarize the first stage. So group A is asymptomatic, CBC, sugar, LFT, RFT, ECG. Main treatment is HCQS. Group B, Buger comorbid. So these are simple URTI cases. Check the red flag signs. So the same workup. Chest X-ray gets added, ABG in case of red flag, HCQ plus 1 antibiotic. In group C, C means comorbid. Daily ECG is the only feature. Check for the red flag signs. Here in workup, ABG and inflammatory markers get added. Treatment is same, HCQS plus 1 antibiotic. Only COVID awake repositioning protocol and MPS if SpO2 less than 88. Let's look at group D. So these cases have pneumonia without respiratory failure, so maybe oxygen not needed. Check the red flag signs, which basically includes hypoxia, neutrophil lymphocyte ratio and the inflammatory markers. Workup is the same as there was in group C. Treatment here, injectable antibiotic gets added along with HCQS. And again, if the SpO2 is less than 88, consider the repositioning of patient in the bed and methylprednisolone 40 mg BID. ECG is daily and at baseline to look for QTc prolongation. Let's look at group E. So you can remember E, hypoxia. So there is pneumonia with respiratory failure. So check the red flag signs, which is NL ratio and raised inflammatory markers. Workup is the same. Only cardiac enzymes like TROP-I and CKMB are added in this. Here treatment includes injectable antibiotic piperacillin tazobactam, TID, HCQS and low molecular weight heparin gets added as a prophylactic dose, and also rest things like CARP and methylprednisolone remain the same. ECG is same, baseline and daily. Patient is not doing well, put on mechanical ventilator. Let's revise D and E group. So D, pneumonia without respiratory failure. Here only ceftriaxone addition is there, rest things are the same. In E group, hypoxia is there, cardiac markers gets added in this workup. Piperacillin tazobactam is added along with low molecular weight heparin 40 mg. Let's look at the last group. F stands for fatal. So there is pneumonia, respiratory failure, multi-organ dysfunction. Workup is almost the same. Here blood culture and sensitivity gets added. Treatment part, meropenem along with HCQS and low molecular weight heparin. Heparin here is now BID, meropenem is 1 gram TID infusion. Mechanical ventilator as per protocol. If there is cytokine storm, MPS methylprednisolone in high dose over 5 days, which we'll see in next part. So to summarize, group F is severe, there is pneumonia and multi-organ dysfunction. Blood culture sensitivity gets added to the investigation part. Treatment part includes meropenem and low molecular weight heparin in full dose. Thank you for watching. Please check part 2 for some additional details.